Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the zealous Zoomer herself, Sandy Reevy.
I think I know this one. Hi.
It is episode 276, November 6th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we start off today, Monday, Venus trine Pluto.
Dead serious.
And Mercury trine Neptune retrograde.
Multicolored thoughts.
And November 8th, Wednesday, Venus ingress Libra.
Be with people.
And Mercury sextile Pluto.
Review what's true.
And November 10th, Friday, Mercury ingress Sagittarius.
Picking up Plato.
And Mercury square Saturn.
Put down the pen.
And Sandy's conflict day, November 11th, Saturday, Mars opposing Uranus retrograde.
Wildly unstable.
And then Sandy's favorite day, November 13th, Monday, new moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio.
Buy a ticket, buy a chance.
Then in Talisman times, there are none finished nor any upcoming. However, you still can get the Talisman of the month. On the horizon, we have our lessons from Mercury free event ready and waiting for you, as well as the November forecast and cheat sheet. Then in our house, I am off on a solo trip, and where to? Listen in and find out more. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, zealous Zoomer.
I get it. I just did an event in Greece while I sat here in Chicago.
Right.
And you weren't available to run the slides or do all of the whatever chat box and stuff that you always do, but I did it by myself.
You did it, and you did it successfully.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, but you did, bless you.
Ooh, thank you.
You did all the slides, so thank you.
Yeah, helped you with the slides, but really you came in, and then once you were even done with that event, there goes your next event that was totally ad hoc, and you helped do and run a monthly forecast?
A weekly forecast.
A weekly forecast.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And that was also in Greece. Yeah.
Super cool.
I know. I love working in different places in the world while I sit here by my fireplace.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So going direct to all of you listeners, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It is our soul food when you send in those reviews and your emails. So keep them coming. This one is from Lorena, and she says, getting great understanding. A sweet and sparkling Sandy walks you through the stars and planets in search of the mysteries of our lives so that we can understand, and in turn urges us to seek new paths to live fully. Absolutely marvelous.
Whoa, who is that? And who is she talking about?
That is you.
That sounds like a beautiful introduction to a great novel.
Right. A sweet and sparkling Sandy walks you through the stars and planets. I love it.
I like that a lot.
I like it too. 5 stars for your 5-star review. There you go. Thanks, Lorena.
Thanks, Lorena.
Okay, so let's move into the transits for the week. We have... It's a fullish week, about 2 transits per day.
It's a full week. It's a little bit, we start with a bit of a respite from last week, and we move into a little bit more of a tension as we get through toward the end of the week.
Right, because we have your conflict day at the end of the week. So let's start at the top with November 6th, today, if you're listening on time, Monday, Venus trine Pluto.
Dead serious. You only want to discuss important issues. You really want to have topics that are of serious nature, because you want to, whatever you say today, mean it. Mean what you say, and don't be mean.
Okay.
Right. It's Venus that happens to be in fall here because she's in Virgo, where she can see all the flaws. And she can see imperfections, and she can see what pictures on the wall are off just a millimeter of angle. But the trine to Pluto says, I'll walk over there and fix it myself because I'm serious about that.
Right.
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 So finding ways to improve things by being serious.
Okay. I think that goes in so many different directions too. It's like interpersonally, I'm dead serious about this. I'm going to double down and make these changes and these, permanent changes in my life, or even within relationships, or fixing that frame on the wall that's just been sitting there.
Venus is about the beauty, right? An object of beauty.
And even like, that one thing that's just been sitting there either on the counter or in the corner that's not supposed to be there. But because it's been there for so long, it just appears as if it's supposed to be there.
And when it's been there too long, when it has the permanent, when you pick it up, it's got a permanent clean mark underneath it because the dust has settled around it.
Right.
It has taken its permanent space.
Right. Time to switch it around. Yes. All right. So let's move on to the next transit that day, Monday. Mercury trine Neptune retrograde.
This is nice because this is about multicolored thoughts, right? So the Neptune brings in that creative inspiration. Mercury here in Scorpio wanting to go down into, going into the bottom of the color palette kind of thing and stroking. But so I called it plan to do your art, your heart.
Okay.
Did you get that? Heart, art.
Yes.
Okay.
I got that part.
Okay. So it's just about multicolored thoughts, right? Like Mercury likes to bring multis in, and Neptune is the prism, the vision, like the rainbow kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
Taking that intense prism of all of the colors that we can see, all from that beam of light.
Yeah, and enjoy that. And how can that, pierce in a really nice way, connecting to your heart through your art.
Right. Whether it's singing, dancing, painting, whatever it is, that those multicolored thoughts and expressions.
And for you, it could be sleeping, because I know that's one of your arts.
It used to be. So November 8th, we have 2 transits, and this is Wednesday, Venus ingress Libra.
So this is be with people. This is begin setting up your social calendars for the month. She'll be here in this area of the sky in her own sign, Libra, for about 3 weeks. So this is about shop, drink, and laugh together, right? It's just about filling up your social calendar. And it has to do with, watch things in the news about women, art, something about unity, legal system. Are there changes about equality in women, right?
Right.
Is there a bit of a surge through female, protesters? We're always in a fight, right? We're always trying to get equal. That's all. Equal.
Yeah. And so this one, be with people, it's just find that community that supports you and honors you.
Yeah, and it's a social time because it's a cardinal air sign. So it's about being with, sharing stories and, being with people. So, I know that my calendar's quite filled up during that time on a social level, right? It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second transit of the day is Mercury sextile Pluto.
And this I like this. It's a sextile. Says the opportunity to review what's true. Good to do your own survey, your own research. Interesting that today, I think this Wednesday the 8th, is the day that our former president is up on the stand.
Oh, okay.
I think this is the day. And, again, do your own fact checking. If you're listening in or you see it on the news to see what's going on, don't just listen to what is being said. Do your own fact checking. And you might even have to go back into the Rolodex of your mind to remember some things. But again, review what's true. It just happens to be something that's going on in our news that a lot of people are watching.
Yes. That'll be interesting. A very interesting upcoming day. All right. So let's move on to November 10th, Friday, Mercury ingress Sagittarius.
Picking up Plato. Mercury is the little guy that likes to travel short distances and pick up details. Right? Sagittarius is opposite, so he's in detriment here. Sagittarius is about
big pictures, worldwide,
international, over the water, like far, anything, but that's not here, right? It's that arrow. Go that way. It's like, where's that way? I don't know. Just go anywhere but here.
Right. It's more like higher knowledge, as when Mercury is about the application of, getting into things and actually doing it. So
really, to pick up Plato, again, that's that inspired wisdom, philosophy of Sagittarius, of what if, those questions, right? Because in order to drop some knowledge, you gotta pick it up first, right? I like that when I was like, I want to drop some information. You gotta pick it up. So pick up Plato, or one of the...
Very cool.
Right. And then, plan your international retreat, learn about overseas, or dream about it. Or come with me on one of our international retreats. In fact, I choose to do them all international, so that we literally go away from the domestic place of the United States of America.
Right.
That's the only way to learn cultures. Get away.
Right. Get away from your
culture.
own. Yeah. Take a step into something that's unknown to you, and whether that's picking up Plato if you're not into theology or philosophy, that's a great place to start, and start expanding those horizons.
Yeah, and make the details, figure out things. Again, I do a 15-minute free call, which actually turns into about 30 minutes. But
sometimes
we call it a 30-minute free.
We call it a 15-minute free retreat
15
reading, which is in the show notes. And if you are interested, head down to the section called On the Horizon. And at the bottom, you're going to see a little link that will sign you up for that free 15-minute call with Sandy.
Let's talk about going away, baby.
Yeah. Okay, so still the same day, November 10th, Friday, we have Mercury square Saturn.
Put down the pen. This is a square. So remember, Mercury just earlier in the day moved into 0 degrees of Sagittarius.
Right.
But we have to think that Saturn is not moved out of 0 degrees of Pisces. Yes, he's direct. He just moved last week, but they're at a standstill, right? Saturn is not moving. He's still at 0, and he doesn't move often for another 2 weeks off of the 0 mark. He doesn't go to 1 for another 2 weeks. So, hold your horses. This too shall pass. And I say that a lot, right? That as a mom to my kids, or if whatever, it's like, this too shall pass. So I went and did a research on who said that, and it's still up in the air to really who said it. It's either what they say is King Solomon said that, or possibly Rumi, the Persian poet. But what he did say, Rumi, he writes, "This too shall pass. When things are bad, remember it won't always be this way. Take one day at a time. When things are good, remember it won't always be this way. Enjoy every great moment."
Yeah.
And so the square is about, being the Mercury. The Mercury is like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta learn this. I gotta learn this. And it gets squared to Saturn. And Saturn's like, nope, not, delay, stop, limit. And so you can feel this, that things aren't moving. So you can really feel that this too shall pass. Right. Enjoy every great moment.
Yes. It's true. And, even when it's going fabulously, that too shall pass.
Yeah.
We're constantly going through the cycle. So there's nothing that is permanent. It's it's all in flow and in flux. So let's move into the next day, which is your conflict day. Yeah. So we're winding up the week with November 11th, Saturday, Mars opposing Uranus retrograde.
Yeah, wildly unstable. This happens once every 2 years. One aspect that is an opposition, again, two people or two things or two countries or two somethings, groups that are not agreeing. They're challenging and they're opposing. Mm-hmm. But Mars is pretty strong here. I mean, he's incredibly effective and totally resourced with everything he needs. He's in Scorpio. He rules Scorpio. Mm-hmm. And he's pushing up against Uranus, that's retrograde, and Uranus, who likes to be, the chaotic destabler, is in a stable sign of Taurus, where he's been for quite a while now. So, I don't know. Mars is super strong, going straight, going direct. Uranus, but you don't mess with Uranus. Mm-hmm. However, I do have, even though it's my conflict day, it's like take a bit of a dare. Maybe that's one way to suffice or remedy Mars, because Mars really needs to have his way here. So maybe you don't take a big dare. Personally, I'm going to see what I can do on this day that just edges something out that I normally would not do, but just a little bit.
Okay. All right. And then we have an honorable mention, since on the Monday coming up, November 13th, we have the new moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio, and it is early enough for us to mention here. And this is also Sandy's favorite day.
Yeah, so we went from conflict to 2 days later, favorites. And the new moon at 20 Scorpio is
we're back in that cycle.
3:27 a.m., which is really why. So it's like buy a ticket, take a chance. It's the only way to win, right? It's the only way to win. Mm-hmm. It's the only way to move forward, even if it's just a hope and a prayer that you have this opportunity to kind of take a step forward, mm-hmm. right? So, what will you do? What kind of chance will you take? Literally, will you go buy a ticket? Is this about lottery ticket? I don't know. Mm-hmm. But it is my favorite day. Not everybody thinks that way. I've got other astrologer friends who are like, really? And right. I'm like, it kind of is. It's, the new moon in Scorpio, which means the moon is there, the sun is there. But remember, so is Mars. Mm-hmm. And so this is really kind of a time when the sun and Mars are going to do a kazemi. I'm using this as a one of my personal intention bracelets that, my gosh, I've got like 10 people on the list. And one of the personal intention people want high energy. They want to take the lead on something. And so I'm using this shortly after this new moon when the sun gets to Mars. Mm-hmm. It's the kazemi period. It's also opposing Uranus. So again, it's that wild card. But sometimes you need a wild card that, when somebody says, I never win anything. And so they don't take a chance, right?
Right.
But one time they decide to take the chance. Mm-hmm. And wildly, unpredictably, they win. It's also trine to Neptune. So to me, could be water issues, could be because we got a lot of water. Scorpio's water, the moon's in water, the sun's in water, Mars is in water. He's the ruler of the water. And we've got Neptune and Pisces in water. So, mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like we have to use this energy somehow. We don't want to sit down in a chair and have the leg fall off of the chair.
Right.
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 We want to
No
engage somehow, some way. So you could go out and take a chance. You could watch Mamma Mia. Isn't that song?
That's a great.
Take a chance on me. Yeah, in other words, sign up for a retreat. You can't go wrong, seriously.
Right. No, and even just the feedback that we get from the people that join us on these retreats, they are really wonderful, bookmarkers in your life that you're like, wow, I learned so much about myself. I met new friends. I experienced a whole new culture in depth, because that's exactly how we like to do it. And you learn your astrological chart throughout the process.
I know I just got somebody going to Bali yesterday with us, and I got somebody going to Greece with us next year.
Right.
And our one sheet isn't even updated
Right,
on our retreats.
Our retreat page. Right.
And then I've got almost Egypt that's not even on here, almost filled.
Right.
Just for, like letters of intent, the LOIs.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's some of the same people returning, because they know that for their money they get a high expectation. They get a ROI. I'm into these.
You are.
LOIs and ROIs.
All right, so let's move into talisman times. It is a short one because all we have to discuss is the talisman of the month for November. This is to build a long-standing structure. I make this commitment now that holds until the end of time. Whether it's a relationship or a tangible commodity, it survives. This is Moon, Sagittarius, sextile, Saturn, Aquarius.
Yeah, but this is Saturn stationing direct. This is the only one I have left that I can make in 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Which, let me see what my hands look like in 27 years when I'm about, wait, just real quick. 27 years, I'm 104.
Okay.
So if you want a good Saturn stationing direct, getting back on the job, moving forward, feeling like you can get organized, taking that advancement of achievement and
building a long-standing structure.
Yeah, of ambition. This is seriously, I'm surprised this one is still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. All right, so let's move on to the horizon, where we have uploaded the lessons from Mercury, which was a free event. We recorded it all, and you can get a sneak peek into what we are going to be teaching at the Mexico retreat for this January. The Lessons of Mercury is all about Mercury. You learn the basics, but also you learn the crux of communication. How is it that, your Mercury sign, which mine is in air, and for instance, yours is in water, how can we learn to communicate even better than what we do now?
Right. So sometimes
air is way too high up, and sometimes water is way too emotional. Right? So that's
flowy. Yeah.
Right.
Like I changed my mind.
Right. And it's those tend to be, incompatible. But there's ways around it, because we can communicate with people. It just takes a little bit of extra effort sometimes.
Can I just remind you of how in the past we've worked, where we'll be in a meeting and I'll say, let's turn this green instead of blue. Oh, and you know what? That other thing over there, let's make sure, did you get that email out? Blah, blah, blah. And hey, what do we want to do for lunch? And you're like, oh my God, I'm back on something you gave me yesterday.
Right.
Stop talking. You're popping too far, because the water wants to just keep moving.
Right. It doesn't have the boundaries.
Yeah. And you're like, whoa, I'm still working on that last thing.
Yes.
So we had to learn that, gosh.
Right. And so we've
one
basically
at a time.
We've documented some really great morsels of information in this free event. You can download it for free. If you wanted to add any type of charts to receive and be able to compare and contrast between you and other charts, those are an additional cost, but really it is a free wonderful webinar that you can replay anytime you want. So go ahead, and in the show notes, you'll see the lessons from Mercury. Also, we have our November forecast and cheat sheet for the month. That is ready and waiting for you at patreon.com. You can even receive that now with only a $5 membership fee, and that is called the Little Dipper. And the Little Dipper gets the forecast and the cheat sheet at the beginning of the month just to prepare. However, the Big Dipper gets it in advance, notified much earlier
And
to
live.
start planning, and they do have a live chance to ask questions, really engage with Sandy and Susan. All right. So
Woo-hoo.
we have discussed the retreat lineup for 2024, but just in case you have any questions, remember that you can always sign up for that free 15-minute call with Sandy. The link is in the description of this episode. And we're going to finish our episode today with our house, and I am headed out on a solo trip, and you'll be hearing from me the next few weeks from Costa Rica.
Woo, Rica.
It is the one of the most beautiful places that I've been to. We've co-hosted retreats there, and this is really like my first non-work related and going by myself at like trip that, I mean, ever since I was maybe 21 when I did a Euro trip back in the day. So I'm really excited for this. I'm going to do a yoga teacher training. I'm going to be certified by the time I get back.
Woo!
I'm really excited to explore more of my practice and just see how that evolves for me. And I'm just so excited to learn more. I'm going to be learning about meditation and breath work. And I mean, all of these things that I utilize, you know, here in the podcast when I do our monthly meditations, and also on my other podcast where I have all of my meditations and the whole library there.
Really an extension of, you know, and it's lovely with all these aspects that are going on, you know, with the Mercury going into Sagittarius, right? It's going to find new information and expanding on what you already know.
Right. And I feel like I'm very comfortable with my own yoga practice. Now it's about how can I share that with others. And we were just in Greece doing the retreat there, and wow, I mean, I was doing yin yoga and vinyasa yoga and really just teaching from just the knowledge that I have, you know, helping direct people. But I had never really had that classroom experience, and it was wonderful. And it came so naturally that it was just like it was so much fun for me. And I was just like, wow, this is perfect. The
scope that you had, your landscape.
The views were incredible.
We were on Margos Island at Ayalis, which is one of the international top 10 yoga retreat centers, and you were doing it outside on the rooftop area
and overlooking the bay,
watching the sun come up over the mountain.
Wow, it was incredible. I'm so excited to have more of those moments to share with you all. So, yeah, I think.
So you'll be gone for almost a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll miss Thanksgiving. And so you'll be coming in. We'll be doing the podcasts from there, I guess.
There.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll be calling
Alrighty
in.
then.
We're going to be doing it from Zoom.
Wish me luck, everybody. Not her, but me.
It's going to be
because
just
I'm going to be without you.
No, it's going to be fine.
Ooh.
It's going to be fine. But yeah, so if you all have any feedback, any questions, remember you can always email alex@intentionbeads.com, and we would love to hear from you all. If you have any questions, even basic astrology questions, we are happy to answer them here on the podcast. Remember, we love those 5-star reviews, so keep them coming. Make sure that you send in your feedback, and we will see you all next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story of you.